News at 6.
Eagle Eye TV has done a great job.
Welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
We are just having a great time here in Auburn, Alabama. The party is not over yet.
Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Good evening, and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Jillian Byers.
And I'm Hazelrig. Thank you for joining us, and happy Veterans Day.
Auburn University's Student Government Association posted an announcement to their Instagram today regarding the block section of Jordan-Hare Stadium for the football game against the University of Louisiana Monroe. The block section will be open for all students to sit in during Saturday's football game, and none of the rows will be reserved.
Following last Wednesday's official reports that former President Donald Trump will return to the White House after winning the 2024 presidential election, students at Auburn University began celebrating in the early hours of the morning by rolling the trees at Toomer's Corner. Eagle Eye reporter Sydney Babb spoke to the students about their initial reactions to the election results and to the downtown celebration.
Late last night and early this morning, polls officially reported that Donald Trump has won the presidency. Now, traditionally, Auburn students will come to Toomer's Corner and roll the trees after a victory or an Auburn athletic victory. But as you can see here, students arrived early this morning at 2 to 3 a.m. to roll the trees after hearing the results of the election. Students were seen on the Toomer's traffic camera live stream this morning, celebrating the news immediately after it could be confirmed. Social media posts over the last 12 hours show students rolling the trees and celebrating with flags and banners. Some students enjoyed the celebration or joined in themselves.
We wanted to be able to say we were part of it because I just feel like this is going to be historic and everyone's going to look back at it and it's so exciting. So we wanted to come and roll it this morning at 8 a.m.
I'm happy that they're expressing their excitement for whoever they voted for. I think it's honestly pretty cool.
I thought it was awesome that people were celebrating, an election. It shows that, people are really encouraging, are really loving democracy.
While others felt that the tradition should remain exactly that, an Auburn tradition.
I kind of feel like it's a little disrespectful just to Auburn, just because everyone has different political beliefs.
That is not what Toomer's is for. I guess celebration, but it's just not what it's for.
I thought it was ridiculous. The last time we rolled it, there's an entire tradition where we only do it for our football team, and the last time we rolled it for something that was for, I think, the Braves, and we saw how that negatively affected us, and people were outraged by that.
In general, it seems there are mixed opinions from students regarding the initial results, especially considering most believed it would be multiple days before the country had a solid answer.
From the beginning, I felt like Trump was going to win, and I'm happy with how it turned out.
It doesn't feel right. I think there's a definite feeling on campus right now of just sadness and just feeling scared.
I'm happy. I think the economy will be better. I'm hoping for the parties to come a little bit together now. I hope that there's a little bit of a reset.
It was just a lot of shock. I did cry. I had to explain to my boyfriend why I was crying.
And we will have more details on students' reactions to come. Sydney Babb, Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Auburn University is back with its annual Beat Bama food drive, competing against the University of Alabama to fight food insecurity. Here's Ava Marchese with how Auburn's campus is rallying to make a difference.
I'm here outside the Melton Student Center, where Auburn University's Beat Bama food drive is gearing up for the biggest event of the 2024 campaign, the Iron Bowl. Let's take a look.
For 31 years, Auburn and Alabama have faced off to collect donations for their communities. Since 1994, Auburn has raised over 11.5 million pounds of food for the Food Bank of East Alabama, helping families across the region.
Every year since my freshman year, the campaign's kind of grown on what we did the previous year, and combined with Bama, it was over $1 million for the whole year, which was incredible, record-breaking, something really special to be a part of. But ultimately, my goal is to really have the entire Auburn campus and community and family united behind this drive.
This year, the drive features expanded outreach and new events to engage students, faculty, and the local community. From social media campaigns to on-campus events like the Beat Bama Boutique, Beat Bama Food Drive aims to reach new heights in donations.
every purchase that you make, that money goes towards the drive. So not only are you eliminating waste in your community as far as what you're wearing, but you're also bringing more money to the drive to eliminate hunger in our community.
Bradford and her team are working with various Auburn organizations, including the University Program Council, to boost donations and spread awareness.
At the end of the day, I just want everyone to really be united behind this fight.
To join the movement and help tackle food insecurity, visit their Instagram at Beat Bama Food Drive. For Eagle Eye TV, this is Ava Marchese.
Last Friday, Auburn crowned their 2025 Miss Auburn University in a long-running scholarship program that allows Auburn women to showcase their talents and spread awareness for issues that they're passionate about. Our very own Jillian Byers had the pleasure of attending this event to see what makes these women so uniquely Auburn.
The time has come for Auburn to crown its next Miss Auburn University. This Friday, 9 Auburn women took to the Student Activity Center to make their case to become the next Miss Auburn University 2025. And this year, the winner is Michaela Anderson. Miss Auburn University is a scholarship program where women have the opportunity to compete for a full year of free tuition, as well as becoming Auburn's nomination for Miss Alabama. The contestants first have a closed-door interview with judges the day before the pageant. Then, during the pageant, contestants go through various phases, including the opening number, on-stage conversations, talent, and evening gown. Each contestant enters the contest with a service initiative that they are passionate about. As Miss Auburn University, they're able to promote awareness for their respective initiative and become a role model of what a true Auburn woman should look like. Tonight's competition featured a performance from Miss Auburn University 2024, Mary Coker Green, alongside her father and brother, as well as having her final walk as Miss AU moments before she crowned the next winner. Michaela Anderson was chosen as this year's winner. She is passionate about finding a cure to diabetes and cannot wait to serve Auburn as the next Miss Auburn University.
I believe that the habits we form in our 20s become the health issues that we have in our 60s, and it's proactive for us to start working on those habits now.
Leading into the new year, Miss Auburn 2025 will have her sights set on competing for Miss Alabama while she represents Auburn University. Jillian Byers, Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Last week, the Gouge Performing Arts Center took Auburn University faculty and staff behind the curtain to get an inside look at the venue. Eagle Eye reporter Albert Osorio, hopping on stage, tells us more.
Last Wednesday and Thursday, the Jane and Susie Gouge Performing Arts Center provided venue tours to the faculty and staff of Auburn University. In these hour-long tours, these guests were able to get behind-the-scenes access of different rooms throughout the venue, such as the wardrobe room, dressing room, and lounge room. They were even able to walk on the stage and look around the auditorium. These tours were a hit to these staff members, such as the manager of the Crare Preserve and Nature Center, Michael Buckman.
Well, actually, the tour was fantastic. So I've been to a few shows here, absolutely loved it. The performances are always fantastic, and the Performing Arts Center does a great job of hosting. But seeing behind the scenes was really amazing to see how everything was put together, all the cool mechanisms and setup behind the stage is really, really fun to get to see.
So whether students or families of all ages are looking for a fun night out, a show at the Jane and Susie Performing Arts Center will be an absolute spectacle to see. This is Albert Osorio reporting for Eagle Eye TV.
There's a podcast on the plains, and it's here to teach you everything you could possibly know about Auburn.
The Everything Auburn podcast was created by the Office of Communications and Marketing, and when Auburn faculty Carter Gustin and Dalton Odom got the opportunity to take over as hosts, they jumped on it. With the topic being everything about Auburn, the co-hosts didn't want to get too specific with only focusing on one thing. Their goal is to meet a variety of people and talk about the Auburn family, the Auburn spirit, and why everybody loves this place. By speaking with diehard football fans, researchers who explain how to tie your shoes and everything in between, this podcast provides insight to the heart of Auburn University. Passionate is just one way to describe the atmosphere Gustin and Odom have created on their podcast. People in the surrounding neighborhoods, students, alumni, professors, and more help them showcase how great of a community Auburn truly is.
But I just like talking to people, getting to meet people, hear people's incredible story. My first episode on there, I cried because, it was just such a powerful thing.
The podcast is now on to its second season and is available to listen to on Apple Music, Spotify, the Auburn University website, and YouTube.
When we come back, you'll get a weather update from Eagle Eye's Albert Osorio, plus an update on the recent election from Ben Bradfield. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Albert Osorio, here to give you your weather outlook of the week. Starting off, the high temperatures seem to stay around the 70s throughout this week, with the low temperatures being around 54 degrees. Last week saw good bits of rainfall, but most of this week will be drier and sunnier. However, there is a chance of some showers on Wednesday and Thursday. Winds seem to be calm this week, but Wednesday could see winds going up to 14 miles per hour, possibly impacting the temperature as well. We should see some clear skies going into the weekend, but the low temperatures will drop to near 45 degrees, which are the coldest temperatures we will feel in a long time. The sun is looking to set around 4:30 p.m. like last week. By the time we reach December, it seems like we will get a lot less day than night, which will look great for the holidays arriving around the corner. That's all I have for your weather outlook of the week. Once again, I'm Albert Osorio. Now on to Ben on the plains.
Hello and welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Ben Bradfield, here to give you an update on election news. After former President Donald Trump was re-elected last Tuesday, he is officially the oldest president in American history, as well as the first convicted felon to take office following his 34 counts earlier this year. He is also the second president to hold 2 non-consecutive terms following Grover Cleveland. President-elect Trump outlines his policy plans in Agenda 47, calling for the expansion of presidential authority, increased tariffs, federal school choice laws, banning DEI initiatives nationwide, investing in the manufacturing of flying cars, mass deportation, prayer in public schools, and offering incentives to couples who have more children. It's unclear whether or not President-elect Trump plans on using policies from Project 2025, a conservative manifesto outlining legislation the next GOP president could enact. The plan includes the dismantling of the Department of Education, banning the use of contraceptives in abortion, defunding federal environmental initiatives, mass media bans, using the FBI, military, and Department of Justice to stop protest, and blurring the line between church and state. Despite rejecting any intent to align with Project 2025, President-elect Trump takes center stage in the political playbook, with his name appearing in the document over 310 times. Multiple of Trump's former colleagues appear in the authors list of the document as well. Last week, Trump announced his new chief of staff, Susie Wiles. Wiles will be the first woman to serve as a U.S. president's chief of staff. The Republicans also gained a Senate majority. In more local news, Republican Sarah Stewart will be the new Chief Justice of Alabama Supreme Court. Democrat Shomari Figurs was elected to become Alabama's 2nd District representative. In the coming weeks, we will continue to keep you updated on the transfer of power of both federal and local offices. When we return, you'll get a national news update from Jillian and Lucas. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. We are learning more about a mass shooting at Tuskegee University in Alabama. Police say the suspected gunman is in custody. Officers arrested 25-year-old Jaquez Myrick of Montgomery, Alabama. Investigators say Myrick was leaving the scene of the shooting when police stopped him. They say he had a handgun with a machine gun conversion device in his possession. The shooting happened Sunday morning on the last day of homecoming week. The gunfire killed 18-year-old Latavion Johnson of Troy, Alabama. 16 people were hurt, including a dozen people who suffered gunshot wounds. It's unclear what prompted the shooting. Police are still investigating, and the university announced it is canceling all classes on Monday.
A New York State Forest Ranger volunteer lost his life while battling a wildfire burning in Greenwood Lake, New York. The Jennings Creek wildfire started in West Milford, New Jersey and spread to Orange County, New York. This is where Greenwood Lake is located. The wildfire has burned approximately 2,000 acres and was 0% contained as of Saturday night. Officials say at least 10 structures were threatened. The case of the fire is under investigation.
Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor isn't going anywhere. People close to Sotomayor say she made it clear that she has no plans to step down. One person said the 70-year-old is in great health and, quote, the court needs her now more than ever, end quote. There have been calls from some of the left for the court's senior liberal to resign so President Biden could try to name a successor before President-elect Trump takes office. However, it takes several months for the Senate to confirm a nominee. While Democrats currently have a slim majority in the Senate, there's no guarantee they could confirm a nominee before Republicans take control in January.
My assistant Teresa,
When we return, you'll get an Auburn sports update with Ethan Clements. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Ethan Clements, back to give you a recap on all of the big stories that occurred in Auburn sports last week, right here on the Plains. Let's get right into it. Friday afternoon, Auburn men's basketball's charter flight bound for Houston was forced to return to Auburn Municipal Airport after only 40 minutes into the flight due to an apparent in-flight scuffle between two players on the squad. According to the Associated Press, obtained air traffic control audio included audio from the cockpit stating that clothes were ripped and one individual was bloodied. The pilot could also be heard informing air traffic control that, quote, we have a bunch of basketball players fighting, end quote, in which the pilot later requested police to be awaiting their arrival back at Auburn. The team did end up making it to Houston after the two players who were involved remained in Auburn. The Tigers were headed to Houston, Texas to face off against the fourth-ranked Houston Cougars in quite the matchup. Lady Tigers basketball looked to continue their early season success on Friday night against the Virginia Lynchburg Dragons in what would become quite the game inside Neville Arena. Sophomore forward Deanna Gaston had an outstanding performance, achieving her 1,000th career point, shooting 36 points and going 15 for 20 from the field with 11 rebounds. Senior forward Celia Sumbani tallied 19 points, 8 for 11 from the field with 8 rebounds. The Lady Tigers ended the night with a win thanks to an astonishing score of 128-36. Auburn women's basketball returns back to Neville Arena on Thursday, November 14th to tip off against the Little Rock Trojans at 7 p.m. Central. Serving it up with women's volleyball, the Tigers traveled to Gainesville, Florida to face off against the Florida Gators as Auburn continues to battle through their conference schedule. Auburn volleyball looked to put an end to their 6-game losing streak as Madison Shearing Company took to the court. Outside hitter Madison Shear slammed down 9 kills with Lakin Laurendine finding the connection for 7 kills from the left side to try and get the Tiger offense rolling. Right side hitter Belle Zimmerman collected 8 kills of her own as well. The Tigers became plagued by errors as Auburn racked up 16 total errors. To no avail, the Tigers were swept by the Gators in straight sets as Auburn's losing skid extends to 7 games before facing the Texas Longhorns in more SEC play on Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Central right here in Neville Arena for Military Appreciation and Alumni Night. Trotting into tonight's segment is the undisputed #1 ranked Auburn Equestrian who took on a tough conference opponent in a marquee matchup against the #2 ranked Texas A&M Aggies. SEC Rider of the Month in jumping seat, Ellie Ferrigno kickstarted the Tigers' push for another win as she scored an event high of 81 in the flat event to not only take home a point for Auburn, but also earned the most outstanding performer honors for her flat work pattern. Auburn took the flat event win with a score of 3-1. Auburn's Western Riders took to the reining event against hungry Texas A&M Riders, who ultimately took the reigning event win with a score of 3-2, even with competitive rides by Olivia Bradley and Michelle Fumagalli for the Tigers. Heading into the second half of the event, Auburn's jumping seat riders completed the fence event sweep with a score of 5-0, featuring a standout performance from freshman Kate Haggerty, who scored 90.5 and took home most outstanding performer honors for fences. Last but not least, Auburn's second SEC Rider of the Month, Alexia Tordoff, entered the arena for her horsemanship pattern to earn a score of 77 and earning Auburn's third most outstanding performer honors of the day. The Tigers go 5-0 in horsemanship to seal the second half sweep and take home the 15-4 home win to remain as the top NCEA program. Auburn Equestrian continues to remain undefeated and improves to 6-0 as they go on the road to Bishop, Georgia to face off against the Georgia Bulldogs on November 22nd at 1 p.m. Central. Men's basketball had quite the week as they took on the Vermont Catamounts inside Neville Arena last Monday. Auburn's very own SEC Player of the Week, Janai Broom, shot for 12 points, going 5 for 11 from the field with a team-leading 7 rebounds. Senior guard Denver Jones took home 16 points, going 4 for 4 in free throws. The Tigers look to keep their momentum moving into this early part of the season as they had quite the road trip later on in the week. Even with Friday's mid-flight scuffle, Auburn men's basketball showed up and showed out in Houston, Texas, as the 11th-ranked Tigers tipped off against the 4th-ranked Houston Cougars in the Mattress Firm Battleground match. Auburn freshman Tahad Pettiford stepped up under the pressure and led the Tigers with 21 points and 5 three-pointers. Pettiford went 7 for 12 from the field as Auburn battled against a tough opponent in the Houston Cougars. More from the Auburn forward center, Janai Broom shot for 20 points, going 10 for 15 from the field with 9 rebounds. The senior from Plant City, Florida, helped push the Tigers over the hump as Pettiford rallied for a massive Auburn road win. Auburn ultimately overpowered the Cougars with a final score of 74-69. The now 5th-ranked Tigers improved to 2-0 overall before welcoming the Kent State Golden Flashes to Neville Arena on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central. Ending tonight with some very exciting news for Auburn women's soccer. After coming off a disappointing loss to LSU in the SEC tournament last week, the Tigers are going dancing in the NCAA Division I tournament. Auburn will host FIU for the first round of the tournament this Friday here at home at 6 p.m. Central, and tickets are available through the Auburn Tigers website. And that's all I have for you tonight. When we come back, you'll get an update on the world of cryptocurrency and a dangerous product recall from Jillian and Lucas. I'm Ethan Clements for Eagle Eye Sports, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. Bitcoin has reached a new record high. The world's largest cryptocurrency briefly touched $80,000 for the first time Sunday. Bitcoin surged in the run-up to Tuesday's election and surged again once it became clear Donald Trump would win. It has since continued to rise following the president-elect's victory, which investors believe is a bullish sign for the crypto industry. Trump has fully embraced crypto in recent months and said he wants it to be mined and minted in the U.S. He has also proposed to launch a strategic national Bitcoin stockpile. Trump's embrace of crypto is a sharp contrast to the Biden administration, which has sought to maintain financial stability by reining in cryptocurrencies.
Here we go. We have good news for hardcore fans of a galaxy far, far away. A new Star Wars trilogy from writer-producer Simon Kinberg is in the works. Lucasfilm says the project is in the early development phase and there's been no official word regarding plot details. Kinberg previously wrote and produced several X-Men movies. The series follows the conclusion of the original 9-chapter Skywalker saga in 2019. Lucasfilm also has additional Star Wars projects on the way.
Roughly 512,000 Govee Life and Govee Smart electric space heaters are being recalled for safety-related reasons. The Consumer Product Safety Commission issued a statement saying these items can overheat and pose a potential fire or burn hazard. Officials say there have been more than 100 related incidents that resulted in 7 reported fires and 1 minor burn injury. The Chinese manufactured heaters under recall were sold online for the past 3 years. More information is available at cpsc.gov. We're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Jillian Byers.
And I'm Lucas Hazelrig. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.